Good morning, everyone. Greg here from Master Trader. Somewhat of an interesting market here, pre-market. Things were very quiet until a few minutes ago. And here we see the S&Ps breaking out above the highs here. And, we never know exactly what is going to happen here, but one of the nuances behind trading the equity futures markets, and I did that for many years, is that at times, and this looks like a scenario for this to happen, is, the markets are moving up right into the open and then they just slam right back down again as they catch, traders trying to jump on board the moving train. So here was, this consolidation, and here's this pop, and then as we look at the daily chart, you see that, they've been moving up right into this prior high. And if I stretch that right up to the top of the range there, say, although there's a little bit more room to go, it's just not a good place, even though this is a base. If you were in it, I'd just be holding it into the open, to just, get out of it at that time, maybe using possibly if the market starts off and you see a high NYSE tick up around 900 to 1,000, that would probably be a pretty good indication that the markets would come in. That aligned with the fact that they're up against this resistance here. It's just not a good place, to combine a breakout strategy with a daily chart that has run up for several days into an area of resistance. Now, that being said, the weekly does look great. It'd be nice if it closed this way, and that would be a strong indication that prices can go higher next week, considering a breakout. That all being said, intraday trading is a completely different situation than looking at a weekly chart with a bullish bias based on what it's saying. So, the NQs also broke out here, and I'm not listening to any news, but, it just seems like all of a sudden everything was just so quiet, and, a half hour or so before the market opened to get this kind of a pop. And in light of the fact that, the financials are coming in on what was positive news from JP Morgan, and so we've got those financials actually being sold on the news. And one of the things I mentioned to our subscribers in last night's video was that, while that's certainly a possibility, let's just look at the charts here. Just based on the fact that, the financial sector here has moved up into this report. And so now, here's the positive news. Prices were moving up in anticipation of it. And now, there's profit taking based on that. So one of the things I said to them was, while this was a possibility, let's just see where they end on the day. Point being, while they're selling off here, and let's just take a look at JP Morgan here. If this was to end the day positive, that would be a sure tell that institutions are picking up shares on, the dip, and then, they'll be driven back up. So we'll see. 91.50 is actually gapping down under this swing low. There's a little bit of support here. I'll be watching to see how this shapes up, because regardless of this negative reaction to the positive news, this was a strong move up. And this reaction right now, we just have to see how it plays out in light of the fact that of that strong move up, what had set up as a head and shoulders top, which never triggered. And in prior videos, I did mention if this failed, there was going to be a big move to the upside. And that has happened. Just the fact that it's at this resistance, looking at the charts, objectively from and ignoring the news point of view, some consolidation here that holds up, above this level, and ideal below this 50% level of that wide range bar will lead to higher prices from here. So we'll just continue to see how this shapes up. All right, so we have gold popping up here in the morning off of this support area. And so interesting, markets are moving higher and gold is moving higher. And we have oil. It kind of came up and came back down again, but it's been in this support area and just chopping around here. All right, so some stocks. Snap was upgraded yesterday. I forget by whom. And this morning, someone is downgrading it. Let's see if I can see. A second here. I know I saw it. Cohen. Not that it makes a difference who necessarily, but Cohen downgrades Snap to market perform. And it's really not done too much here, but, obviously almost like a death trend here. So we'll see if it can begin to hold up in any way. Just looking at some of the others here. Twitter has come back to life. It's kind of interesting. I'll be keeping an eye on this one for next week. I'm just looking at some of the other financials. Goldman's got this bottoming action here, but, reacting negatively as the others are. Coming down here, 227. So, gapping down near the low here. Need some work to do to, see if we can clean that up. Citibank also down, as the rest of them are. And what else is moving around here? BABA has been an outperformer and actually up a little bit here. Like the price action here of a, higher low and this consolidation and then move higher. And what I mean by what I like about that in of itself, it's not all that good looking, but what is good is the fact that it gapped up here and never filled the gap and created this support in the higher low. So the ability to do that in light of a pretty sizable gap is bullish. And we have Solars. They're down here. It's down a little bit here, but as I mentioned yesterday, a bottoming action here and just consolidating at some resistance. So should be interesting to see how they do next week. And just look at anything else of interest here this morning. I don't know, Google up a little bit, not a big deal. A lot of these, FANG stocks, they popped up here, and even the a lot of what got shellacked, ran up for a few days here, and now they turned back down at the end of the day, and we'll see what they do. But they all look a little tired here, like they're gonna come in a little bit. And so it's Friday. The markets have moved up into some resistance here. I told you yesterday that there would probably be a consolidation day yesterday, and today could be exactly that. And this little breakout that we talked about earlier, just be careful, because of the location of where this is happening. This is not the ideal scenario for, a breakout on an intraday pattern with a daily pattern that has run up several days into a resistance area. Okay? All right, everybody, you have a great trading day and, of course, a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk next week.